Well, thanks for joining us for another Daily Dose. We are starting a little new twist on the Daily Dose today, still in the book of Ephesians, but we're not necessarily going verse by verse. We are looking at this thing called the full armor of God. What do you and I as Christians need to do, focus on daily, so we can stand in a world and know, man, I'm walking with God. I have his full confidence and power in my life. Instead of walking daily, feeling like we're getting beat down, we're getting robbed, our joy is stolen from us, and we're getting our butts kicked, literally, figuratively, and spiritually in the world today. And I love the way Ephesians 5, if you were joining us yesterday, where it talks about, man, your battle's not against flesh and blood, but there's a spiritual battle going on in the world around us. Watch how he picks up on this. We are going to start at verse 13, but we're going to stop halfway through. It says, therefore, because we know there's a spiritual battle going on, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything, to stand. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist. And we're just going to stop there for today. Notice what the whole principle of what we're getting into. When you put on armor, you think of someone, a gladiator, someone who's about to go to battle. I'm putting on armor, man, I'm ready to go to war. But nowhere in this passage are you going to hear these words, here's how you fight, here's how you attack. The Bible goes, no, you just stand in God's grace and power. And your job is just to remain steadfast. You just take a stand. He does the fighting. He does the butt kicking. It goes, but in order to do that, we need to arm ourselves. And the first piece of equipment it gets to is you've got to put on the belt of truth. Now, you got to think back in the first century when this is written. It's truly the day of gladiator fighting. And so you would have your weaponry, you would have a helmet, a breastplate, your sword, your shield, and this. But the thing that girds all of us together, that's a good old-fashioned word. The thing that girds it all together is the belt. This is what's going to keep you buckled down, if you will. This is what's going to keep your weapons attached securely. This is what's going to keep all your gear from just flopping around and you being a mess when you take a stand. It is truth that holds everything together. What is the belt of truth that we should daily have that holds everything together? Well, now I'm mixing metaphors, but I immediately think of a title weight championship fight, a cage match, where at the end they bring out this giant belt and you put it on someone. And what it says is you are the heavyweight or world champion. Man, what a belt to wear around. See, the truth that I wear daily in life, there's two to choose from. There's a truth that says, Chris, here's what you were. Here's what you've done. Here's who you've done. Who's where you've been. Here's the stuff that you used to do. And that's all true. And what does that mean about me? I'm a guy who's full of shame, a guy who's full of guilt, a guy who's full of sorrow, a guy who doesn't deserve to be in church, and a guy that no way can God love me. True, 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 true. That's truth. That's truth. And I can't run from it. I can't deny it because it's truth. So I need to put on a new belt. I need to put on something over the old Chris that says he's heavyweight champion. I need to put on a truth that the Bible says, Chris, even though that's who you were, remember Ephesians 5? This is who you were. Let me tell you the truth about who you are today. You were so loved and sought after that God sent his own son. You were valued so much that his death paid for you. And in return, you've been forgiven. You've been given grace. You've been given mercy. Nothing that you earned from that old lifestyle will ever come against you. You'll have to pay for. It's all taken out. Here's more truth. You are not only called a son of God, you are a prince in the kingdom. He daily walks with you. He will not take his hands, his eyes off of you. And in spite of what you've done and how badly you've tried to screw this up, he has a purpose and a plan for you every day. That's naturally not a part of what I wear. That is a belt I have to put on. That is a truth I have to grab and wear, and it's about to gird everything else to come together. Because if I lose that belt, everything else is just going to fall off. Because there's another truth that goes, no, this is who you are and what you've done. There are people in your life today that are battling with two truths. Pass this daily dose on to them. Forward it to them so they can jump in for the days to follow. Here's what we put on. Here's how we walk in that new truth. Because until I understood that new belt around me, nothing else in Christianity seemed to fit. It was made for someone else. You start with the truth about who you are, not how you see yourself, how God sees you. That overrides your past, and that's where we start to stand.